I'm just someone who likes cooking and for whom sharing food is a form of expression. How important it is for us to recognize and celebrate our heroes and sheroes. I long, as does every human being, to be at home wherever I find myself. Life loves to be taken by the lapel and told, "I'm with you, kid. Let's go." There is nothing so pitiful as a young cynic because he has gone from knowing nothing to believing nothing. I believe that every person is born with talent. It is time for parents to teach young people early on that in diversity there is beauty and there is strength. I am grateful to be a woman. I must have done something great in another life. I have found that among its other benefits, giving liberates the soul of the giver. I work very hard, and I play very hard. I'm grateful for life. And I live it. I believe life loves the liver of it. I live it. If we lose love and self-respect for each other, this is how we finally die. The more you know of your history, the more liberated you are. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lines. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. If one is lucky, a solitary fantasy can totally transform 1,000,000 realities. History, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived, but if faced with courage need not be lived again. If you have only one smile and you give it to the people you love. Whatever you want to do, if you want to be great at it, you have to love it and be able to make sacrifices for it. Love is like a virus. It can happen to anybody at any time. I think we all have empathy. We may not have enough courage to display it. Words mean more than what is set down on paper. It takes the human voice to infuse them with deeper meaning. Bitterness is like cancer. It eats upon the host. But anger is like fire. It burns it all clean. I have a son, who is my heart. A wonderful young man, daring and loving and strong and kind. You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. A wise woman wishes to be no one's enemy. A wise woman refuses to be anyone's victim. The ache for home lives in all of us, the safe place where we can go as we are and not be questioned. It's one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, to forgive. Forgive everybody. I learned a long time ago the wisest thing I can do is be on my own side, be an advocate for myself and others like me. Prejudice is a burden that confuses the past, threatens the future, and renders the present inaccessible. Love recognizes no barriers. It jumps hurdles, leaps fences, penetrates walls to arrive at its destination full of hope. Music was my refuge. I could crawl into the space between the notes and curl my back to loneliness. The truth is no one of us can be free until everybody is free. There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you. There's a world of difference between truth and facts. Facts can obscure the truth. We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. If you find it in your heart to care for somebody else, you will have succeeded. My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. Nothing will work unless you do. All great achievements require time. I did work in a strip club, but I didn't strip. I danced and I became very popular. We can learn to see each other and see ourselves in each other and recognize that human beings are more alike than we are unalike. There is a very fine line between loving life and being greedy for it. All great artists draw from the same resource, the human heart, which tells us that we are all more alike than we are unalike. The need for change bulldozed a road down the center of my mind. The love of the family, the love of one person can heal. It heals the scars left by a larger society. A massive, powerful society. How important it is for us to recognize and celebrate our heroes and sheroes. Any book that helps a child to form a habit of reading, to make reading one of his deep and continuing needs, is good for him. I love to see a young girl go out and grab the world by the lapels. The idea is to write it so that people hear it and it slides through the brain and goes straight to the heart. Nothing succeeds like success. Get a little success, and then just get a little more. I'm interested in women's health because I'm a woman. I'd be a darn fool not to be on my own side. Self-pity in its early stage is as snug as a feather mattress. Only when it hardens does it become uncomfortable. Don't get older just to get wiser. If you get older, you will be wiser. I believe that, if you dare. But get older because it's fun. A cynical young person is almost the saddest sight to see because it means that he or she has gone from knowing nothing to believing nothing. I created myself. I have taught myself so much. My greatest blessing has been the birth of my son. My next greatest blessing has been my ability to turn people into children of mine. It's very important to know the neighbor next door, and the people down the street, and the people in another race. At 50, I began to know who I was. It was like waking up to myself. Bitterness is cancer, it eats upon the host. It doesn't do anything to the object of its displeasure. The loss of young first love is so painful that it borders on the ludicrous. In so many ways, segregation shaped me and education liberated me. The sadness of the women's movement is that they don't allow the necessity of love. See, I don't personally trust any revolution where love is not allowed. Everybody born comes from the Creator trailing wisps of glory. We come from the Creator with creativity. I think that each one of us is born with creativity. It is a no-fail, incontrovertible reality. If you get, give. If you learn, teach. You can't do anything with that except do it. We have come to the erroneous belief that we are all but flesh, blood, and bones, and that's all. So we direct our values to material things. In a magazine, one can get, from cover to cover, 15 to 20 different ideas about life and how to live it. The best comfort food will always be greens, cornbread, and fried chicken. Elimination of illiteracy is as serious an issue to our history as the abolition of slavery. I love the song "I Hope You Dance" by Lee Ann Womack. I was going to write that song, but someone beat me to it. Loving someone liberates the lover as well as the beloved. And that kind of love comes with age. At 15, life had taught me undeniably that surrender in its place was as honorable as resistance, especially if one had no choice. I know for sure that love saves me and that it is here to save us all. The hope that lives in the breast of the Black American is just so tremendous that it overwhelms me sometimes.